Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chatting with Kathy, where the rebranding of Left Undone. Let me see who's here. I see you guys. Hi, Carrie, Justine. Hello. How are you? Anyway, I'm here, brand new channel, because as I explained in some of the posts, Left Undone was getting pickled into the Daybell niche so tight that I couldn't post things that would get shown. YouTube has this weird algorithm where whatever they think you're about, that's who they push the audience to, people that are listening to that. And since I did Daybell Vallow so long, that's what happened. So nice to see you guys. Hi, Carrie. How are you? So I know this is brand new, so you probably won't get a big crowd in today, but hopefully the replay crew will come along and watch later. And if you are new here, my name's Kathy. I'm a registered nurse, hospice nurse, mother of 4, grandmother of 2, still 2, only 2. We want more. And my old channel, which still exists if you are interested in lots of things true crime, especially the Daybell case, is over there, and it's called Left Undone: Incomplete Investigations. And I am starting this new channel from scratch, not monetized at all yet, because I have to get a lot more subscribers and likes and views in order to be monetized. So we're starting all over, and we'll see how it goes. How's everybody today? Happy Saturday. It's kind of muggy here where I am in the desert in Southern California. It rained this week, so it's sort of gotten the humidity sticking around. I was just outside cleaning off the patio, and I'm literally can feel the humidity. Let's see. I'm going to put this here so you guys' comments will show up over here. So today we're just going to do our live like we did on Left Undone. Nothing really different about it. Hey, Leighton. Oh, yay. I thought you weren't going to be here. Yay. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you. I did put up a notice that we were. Are you muggy too, Justine? Yeah, it's like I feel it. I don't. When I was in Rome, I'm telling you guys. So I got back from Italy about a month ago now, and our last couple of days was in Rome, and the cobblestone streets are black in Rome. In Greece, they're kind of white and different colors, brown, white, whatever, all different. But in Rome, the whole place is black. And I swear it's just like the heat. It was only in the 90s because it gets to 112 where I live, and I'm not as hot as I was in Rome. I walked to the Colosseum, which was we were staying by the Trevi Fountain, which is in Rome Central. Like anywhere you walk, you can get to some huge iconic place. And we walked to the Coliseum, and I literally was dripping. I was like, there's something wrong with me. I'm dripping sweat so bad. And I had water with me, but I was dying. So after I walked around the Coliseum, there was a little grocery store over there. I went in and got a bottle of water, drinking it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I showed a friend of mine my picture, and my hair is literally pulled up, but like wet. She goes, did you pour the water over your head? I'm like, no, that was so muggy, so hot. August in Rome, I will never go there in August again, but I will go there again, but I'm not going in August. So it was super duper duper hot and muggy and just sweaty, gross muggy. So now when we get a little mugginess here, I'm like, oh, flashbacks to Rome. So let's see, what were we going to talk about today? Okay, a couple things. We'll start out with some of the true crime stuff. Let me see, where's my little list here? All right. So we're going to talk about the Barrymore feud. He's out on bond. We'll talk a little bit about Chad Daybell and his stupid letters. I guess we should talk about that. The Bachelor is coming. The Golden Bachelor is, I think it premieres this week. I want to watch that and follow that because I always watch that. I like the show and the drama and to see what happens in the end because most of the time it doesn't work out. Travel adventures that I just did. I went to Greece by myself. I went to the island of Skiathos, which is where they filmed a lot of the movie Mamma Mia. And I'll tell you, if you've never saw the Broadway musical Mamma Mia, it's so much better than the movie, but it's really good. And then The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Have you guys read that? Have you read her book, The Let Them Theory? And then I'll talk a little bit about being a hospice nurse and giving you some stuff about that. And then thinking about how I'm ever going to retire. So you have to close tonight. Well, at least you're here today. So that works. Works win-win for me, right? So did you hear that Barry Morphew is out on bond? Barry Morphew, who is accused of the murder of his wife, Suzanne Morphew, has been arrested for the second time. He was released prior because there was all kinds of crap that went on with the DA there, who is no longer the DA there. And at that point, when he was arrested the first time, Suzanne's body had never been found. But once they found her body, there was pretty much a significant amount of evidence that led them to rearrest Barry. So he put up, from what I understand, it's like a real estate bond. Like he had to put a lien or something against his house. Let me see, I wrote this down. So he's been released on a $3 million cash surety or property bond. Surety, surety, or property bond. This means he had to secure around $300,000 for his release. He's wearing a GPS ankle monitor and he is confined to a Colorado residence while awaiting his new trial. So what do you think about that? Yeah, he's out on bond. $300,000 is what he had to come up with, secured with some type of property that he owns or has some connection to. Right? Really wild. Will he run away? I doubt it, but I'm sure he's going to have some decent lawyers. But all that stuff with the tranquilizer found in her body and that he's the only one, it was like, what was it? Thousands of people in the area of millions of people. He's like the only one that had access to any of that tranquilizer. Looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. I think he's going to get, I wonder what his daughters are thinking at this point, because they really were standing by him. Really were standing by him. I kind of do now. I mean, I'm trying to do the whole innocent. You know what? The last time I wasn't sure. I really wasn't. I really didn't feel like they had enough evidence when they had him arrested the first time. But once they found her body, I really think that he's looking pretty guilty in my mind. What do you guys think? Is he guilty or is he framed or what? I don't know. You know, she was asking for a divorce. She was over it. They were not getting along. And then he lied and said everything was wonderful between them. It was just too convenient that the daughters were out of town. I just think that I really think he's pretty guilty. I'm not going to say for sure, but we'll have to see what comes out in the trial. I don't believe his trial will be televised, though, from what I understand. Carrie says guilty. Carrie says guilty. You don't know either, but it doesn't look good for him. Right. That's why I'm like, that tranquilizer evidence is just a little bit on the way. Looks kind of bad for you, Barry Morphew. But initially, the last time I thought when they released him and he left with his daughters and stuff, I thought, well, maybe he's not. I never was a huge, like, he did it no matter what person, like some people were. A lot of channels were like, oh, Barry's totally guilty. I was leaning more towards let's wait and see. I'm not so sure. But now I'm leaning towards I'm thinking he's probably guilty. All right. I have not looked at the Chad Daybell letters at all. So I'm going to see if I can find the stupid website with the stupid letters, because I feel like because I spent so much time on that case, I need to keep following through on the nonsense that shows up. So let me look real quick and see if I can find Chad's stupid letters. Should I type in Chad's Daybell's stupid letters or just letters? You know, let's see. Letters from death row. All right. Since August of 2025, Daybell has been publishing letters on the website Letters from Chad. He maintains his innocence and shares thoughts on his trial, his life, and his faith. He is insisting on being innocent. Daybell claims his portrayal in the media as a cult member and murderer is unrecognizable and that he was manipulated during the trial. Oh my God, of course, Chad. Yeah, sure. I sat there for a while in his trial. He's just a flat affect. I'm Chad. I'm a knucklehead. In one letter, apparently, he describes his relationship with his murdered wife, Tammy, portraying her as his life partner, whom he loved and would never have harmed. He recounts his version of events leading up to her death, which differs from witness testimony presented at his trial. And other letters reflect on his faith and provide details from his life before prison, such as his time on his Latter-day Saint mission. Hope for appeal. He writes that a more complete story will be shared during his appeal process. Then there's a little bit more information. Prior to his arrest, Daybell and his co-defendant and future wife at the time, Lori Vallow, exchanged numerous text messages that reveal details of their affair and doomsday beliefs. The letters from death row, however, have not mentioned Lori Vallow at all. One text message that he sent to Lori that was shown at Daybell's trial: I love you so immensely. I love you so immensely that the whole universe knows it. And very soon, the people on the little blue globe will know it too. I gotta do my Chad voice. I just heard Nate read one, and you're right. They're stupid. Okay. Chad's stupid letters. Win-win. I got it right. Like freaking Chad Daybell. Oh, and the fact that he's like still like, oh, I'm just innocent. I was framed. I'm just Chad. I'm just a nice guy. I loved my wife. Let me see if I can find the website. I was just reading a little blurb on it, but the website is called Letters from Chad, right? Letters from Chad. What a stupid name too. Like he's some writer or something. Letters from Chad. Is it a .com? Letters from Chad. Okay, let me share this. We can look at this a little bit. Chad is full of crap. Big poopy crap. All right, let me see. Share screen. Letters from Chad. All right. And Emma, I guess this is her goal in life, to tell the world that her father is this innocent man. Oh, that's a cute picture, Chad. This website is dedicated to letters. Let's see. Can you see this? Yeah. About the author. This website is dedicated to letters to friends and family posted on behalf of Chad Daybell. Uploads are planned for every Monday and Thursday. All opinions are Chad Daybell's. Chad receives no financial compensation from the letters on this website or the social platform they are posted on. Chad Daybell is currently incarcerated, but is able to write these letters through a process that enables them to be posted. Yeah, your dumb daughter. Dear Diary, I'm innocent, right? Dear Diary, I'm Chad Daybell, and I was manipulated, and I'm not a cult leader, and I didn't do anything wrong, and I miss my life partner, Tammy. The end. Okay. Okay. Oh my God, there's 6 letters. Oh my God, he's going into the near-death experiences. Holy man. You guys remember I did an entire, and if you're new here, I did a whole, what was it called? Chad According to Chad. It's all over there on Left Undone, Chad According to Chad. And it is an entire series where we tore apart his crap in his book and his stupid stories about his near-death experiences that I don't believe for a second were anything close to a near-death experience. And his nonsense. He calls us his friends in his first letter. I'm not your friend, Chad. I'm your worst enemy. And I like to say that. I'm your worst nightmare, Chad. We're going to talk about how stupid you are. All right, let me see. Oh, let's go to the first letter first, real quick. Are they long? Let's see. I haven't even, they made me sick. When I heard about them, I was like, I am not even giving this crap any attention at all. Nope, nope, nope. Hello, my friends. This is Chad Daybell writing to you from my cell in Idaho's maximum security institution. This is the first of several letters I will send. I want to thank everyone who sent me cards and letters while I've been incarcerated. Who's sending him cards and letters? Who's doing that? Who? Because if you're doing that, please just, gosh, you're as insane as he is. Who's sending Chad letters? Oh my God. Oh God. Okay. All right. I'm going to calm down now. Your kind words of support really helped me. I cherished each one. Okay. Or you post them on your walls. I arrived here at the prison in June of 2024, and I suppose you could say I've settled in. As for death row itself, I won't be sharing details about my daily schedule or information about my fellow inmates. As the newest arrival on death row, it isn't my place to talk about such things. It really is a different world in here, but I'm surviving, and I spend a lot of time working on my upcoming appeals. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Yeah, I'm sure his kids are sending them, and if there's any knucklehead followers still following him, maybe. And there's always some weird people out there, like whoever sends Lori, clothes and whatever is going on there. They're kind of long. Okay, I won't read the whole thing because it'll take too much time. Let me just see. Read a little bit more of this one. Then I'm going to hop to the last one, and then I can read them later myself and see if there's any highlights I want to bring up. I express my gratitude to each of you who have been part of my life. While I was in the Fremont County Jail, I spent thousands of hours in an isolation cell. I wasn't allowed to have a clock, and it often felt like time stood still. During those challenging days, I would reflect on my life. Yeah, that you're an idiot. Thank you. I hope you were reflecting really good on that. Working forward from my childhood to more recent years. As memories came to me, I would write down the names of the people who had been positive influences in my life. I felt strengthened as I remembered my extended family members, neighbors, coworkers, school classmates, business associates, church members, and friends I've been privileged to know. You have all enriched my life in so many ways. I'll skip down a little bit. I have recently been able to have a few in-person visits with several of my family members, and those have been wonderful. I will always be grateful for the unconditional love and support these family members have given me. Emma. When people find out that my relatives have visited me, they usually ask me, "How has he changed?" What? See, that's Emma writing, right? I mean, think about this. What does he say? I've recently been able to have a few in-person visits with several of my family members, and those have been wonderful. I will always be grateful for the unconditional love and support these family members have given me. When people find out that my relatives have visited me, they usually ask them, "How has he changed?" Oh, people find out. Okay, sorry. Ugh, got that all messed up in my head. The relatives give the same response. He hasn't changed. He's the same Chad we always knew. People are surprised by that answer after hearing a different story for so long. I am still the quiet, gentle person you all know. Gentle, my ass. I have always been a peacemaker, even now in prison. I have never caused anyone's death. See, this is the nonsense. This is complete and total trying to pull the wool over our eyes there still, Chatty Daddy. And never conspired to commit such acts against anyone. I share in your sadness, pain, and grief over the deaths of Tammy, Tylee, and JJ. I don't have all the answers now, but I'm grateful for a more complete story we shared during my appeals process. Yeah. Like the wackadoos who sent letters to Ted Bundy and other serial killers. Exactly. All right, I'm going to skip to the last one because I'm not going to spend all freaking day on this, but let's go back. to letter 6, the most recent one, just to see what he's saying now that he's settling into all this crap. My second near-death experience happened in the summer of 1993. 8 years had passed since I jumped off the cliff at the Flaming George Reservoir. He's rewriting his stupid books. I was now 25 years old. Tammy and I had moved to Ogden the previous year when I was hired as a copy editor. I really enjoyed my new job, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stress. Oh, poor baby. Talk about stress. So the job was invigorating. I'm just scrolling. I was getting along well with my colleagues. My parents invited them on a vacation to San Diego. Yeah, and I was stupid like a dumbass and jumped off a cliff in La Jolla Cove and got scared and decided it was a near-death experience. Yeah, this is just this whole nonsense book again. I felt wrapped in a soft protective cushion as another wave propelled me over the rocks onto the beach. Okay, I've had enough. Goodbye, Chad. Well, I'll just have to look at that later. Hi, Stacy. Good morning. Good morning. Do you think Chad has more money in prison than on the outside? And like on the outside, someone else supports him? Poor Tammy. Somebody must be supporting him. And Emma's going to wind up making some money from this crap. I think like there's a method to their logic here. I think that Chad's writing these letters, Emma's posting them, and somehow, some way, Emma's going to be able to put them together in a book or something from her. You know, I just think something's going to go on there that they're going to make money off this shit crap. So Chatty Daddy's back. I wonder what Lori thinks of these letters that she's not mentioned in. Because she still loves it. Like, dude, he's not even mentioning her at all. Isn't that hilarious? I got my coffee. Thank goodness this thing stays cold because I've been drinking it for about 3 hours now. So that's our friend Chad. And Chad can just go away. Like I said, I'm so sick of Chad. Like my Left Undone channel's messed up because of those people, because I spent too much time on them. So we talked about that. The Golden Bachelor. Are you guys going to watch it? Do you watch The Golden Bachelor? Anybody? I want to talk about it. I like those shows. I don't necessarily like the young ones as much as I like these golden ones. For some reason, I like the golden ones. Well, I guess because they're in my age group, but it's still interesting to see how you can bring all these people together, complete strangers, and then find one that you're going to want to live happily ever after with. Just bizarre in a way. So the Golden Bachelor, the new Golden Bachelor, he is he was an NFL player. Linebacker. He's a linebacker. Former NFL linebacker Mel Owens is the new star of The Golden Bachelor. Mel Owens faced backlash for saying he would cut any contestants over the age of 60. See, he would cut me right now. What? Sorry, you're 61, lady. Nope. You're not. You're too old for my hot self. I don't know. Like, how do you even say that? I don't know. I don't think I'd be attracted to this guy for some reason. Just the fact that he said that. It's Wednesday. It premieres on Wednesday, September 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The Golden Bachelor, Mel Owens. He's an attorney now, but he was an NFL linebacker. It's the renewed for its 30th season. The Bachelor stuff has been going for 30 seasons. That's crazy. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to watch that. So I will be talking about that on here. I just, once you start watching it, you kind of get caught up in it because you're like, I like her. I don't like her. These women. But I do feel like the Golden Bachelor and the Golden Bachelorette seasons, the women were not as catty. They supported each other more. They weren't as immature. The younger girls get real catty, and there's always a villain, and somebody's cried and hurt. And so I don't know how this one will go, but the last two, the Golden Bachelor and the Golden Bachelorette, It was more mature, and I liked it. I enjoyed watching it. So I will be watching that. And if you want to talk about it, watch it too. We'll talk about it here. That's the other thing. And then so I was telling you guys I went to Italy and I had a great time in Greece and Italy, except for my friend and I, who I've been friends with for 20 years, had a falling out there. And we came home okay, but we haven't spoken since. And I was listening to a YouTube channel, it just randomly came up about narcissists and narcissistic relationships and stuff like that. And I thought it was kind of interesting because it started talking about narcissistic friendships that are different than narcissistic relationships, like, romantic relationships versus a friend that's a narcissist. And they're actually easier to maneuver because there's just a whole different dynamic in friends. But it did say you will find out of when people usually realize that their friend is a narcissist is when they move in with them as roommates or they travel with them. And so I don't know if we'll be friends. I mean, I kind of feel like we're on a break right now, and I can tolerate her as a friend to go out to dinner with and this and that, but I won't travel with her again because that side of her did come out. And, she's 4 years younger than me. So she's 57. She's turned 57. And that side of her did come out, and it's not the first time. When we were in Greece in 2022, she had these fits over stuff. Like I took too long talking to somebody in a store and she wanted to go. She grabbed the key out of my hand because I was taking too long to open the door. The doorknobs are weird there. She grabbed the key out of my hand, and some guy walked out and he's like, slow down. You're in Greece now. It was just like that. And then we were walking through the streets and you're not really doing anything. We're just going into shops and this and that. And she started yelling at me about it's her vacation too and da 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 da. And it was embarrassing. I don't see people yelling at their friends in public, like yelling, swear words, everything at me. So anyway, forgave and forgot all that. And then this time when we went to Italy, we were in Rome. We had one full day in Rome and everything was kind of okay. The other days I met her on the 8th and we flew out on the 14th back home. Everything was kind of okay. But the first night in Rome, we were walking and we asked the hotel about this place to have, it was early. It was like 3:00. I wanted to go get a glass of wine and have a snack, charcuterie. So as we're walking there, she said something about, maybe I'll find my new Italian husband. And I was like, well, maybe so, And so then this guy comes up to us and as we're walking, and I just keep walking because to me, whatever. I mean, I'm just like, whatever. He's like, where are you ladies going? And Joan's like, oh, we're going here. And she showed him where we were going. He's like, oh, I'll meet you there. And I'm like, okay, whatever, that's fine. So we go there and he comes in and he goes over to her and he asks her for her phone number. And she's like, on WhatsApp? And she's like, oh. Well, as when we were walking before we got there, I kind of like joked about it. And I was like, I was kind of joked about it. I'm like, oh, Joan just manifested her Italian husband. I don't care. Like I didn't go across the world to meet a guy. I'm so not even interested in guys right now. I'm not interested in anything but my own life right now, taking care of my mom who has dementia and lives with me. So I'm not looking, I'm not dating, I'm not anything. I've done that, been there, maybe later, but I'm really not even, I'm not there in my head now, which is really weird because for many years I was like dating and having relationships and all this stuff. But a few years back, I was just kind of like, I just want to focus on me, right? So anyway, he comes. I was like, haha, I made a short about it. Joan manifested her Italian husband. And so then we go there and he comes in and he asked her phone number. So he stood there for a few minutes and, I was friendly enough, whatever. And then he left. And then we walked and we went over to another place. We walked and went to by the Spanish Steps, took some pictures, and there's this little cafe like bar area. And so we sat down there and had a drink and he started texting her. And she said, oh, he said that he wants to meet me. And I go, oh, okay. And she goes, he wants to meet me he said, and he showed me the text, it was something like, "Without your friend," or "Just you and me." And I was like, "Well, that's weird." I go, "You're here on vacation with me." That's first of all, true crime in the back of my brain, like, dump your friend, come meet me in a foreign country, I'm gonna kill you, murder you. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, that's just a little weird, Joan. That's just a little weird that he's like telling you to ditch your friend who you're here with. And anyway, she just laughed, blah, blah, blah. And I laughed. Like, what? It wasn't a big deal. And then later we went to dinner. I think they were still texting off and on. I never thought anything else of it. And we went to, it was about 9, 10 o'clock at night, I think, maybe even a little bit later. I don't know. And we went to the Trevi Fountain. And when you go in the Trevi Fountain, there's an inn and it's so crowded, so crowded. So it was right by our hotel. So there's an entrance and exit. And I have a video clip of me. I found it. And she goes in the exit and she's like, "Come on." And I'm saying, "No, we can't. That's the exit." I have myself on video saying this. And she's like, "Come on." And I was like, "Joan's breaking the rules. And so I just stood there. I stood right there by where I went in, and there was people kind of going. So I went down a couple steps and I took some selfies in front of this Trevi Fountain, and I'm waiting, blah, 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 waiting, 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 thinking, this is where she lost me. This is where she left me. This is where she's going to find me. Right. So I stood there and waited. Then I looked at my phone and I was going to text her, like, "Where are you?" She texts me and she says, "I don't know where you went, but from now on, I'm taking my own key. Or I'm going back to the hotel. I don't know where you went, but from now on, I'm taking my own key." And I thought, well, why didn't you take your own key in the first place? You're the one that wanted to leave it in the light to keep the air conditioner on, but whatever. I'm like, okay, I booked it over there. She was standing there in the lobby. I go, "Come on in." And I'm like, "What do you mean, where did I go? I stood where I was supposed to go." Again, we're in public place and she starts raising her voice and talking over me and yelling. And she's like, I don't even remember the words. I was so embarrassed, right? Because I'm getting yelled at in public like I'm this 3-year-old. So we go up to the room and I said, "I didn't go anywhere. I stood right where you lost me, like people are supposed to do." She's like, "Well, maybe if you're 5." And I said, "No, Joan, literally, when you lose somebody, you stay in the same place where you lost them. You don't both go wandering different directions." So then she's like, "Oh, you're just like Tony. You're just like Tony." Tony's her ex-boyfriend that they had a terrible relationship with, and she insists he's a narcissist. So I'm like, "Oh, now you're calling me names. That is not okay." And then she says, "You know what? You're just jealous." And I go, "What? I'm jealous?" She goes, "Yeah, because that guy hit on me and not you." And I was like, "Oh my God. Okay. All right." I put my earbuds in. I was going to bed. I'm like, no, I lay down. So she took off, she left. And then I was going to sleep. And I guess when I went to the bathroom, I locked the door. I didn't even think about it. So then I'm sleeping and I hear bing, 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 bing. And well, shoot, I open it. She goes, "I paid for half this room." I was like, I'm not doing this. I just went back to bed and went to sleep. And so then we had bought tickets to go to the Vatican, and they were $100 each for the next day at 10 a.m. So she got up the next morning before me and she left. And I was like, "Okay, well, whatever." It was like 7 or 8. And I waited, and all of a sudden I saw her because I could track her, and she was long gone, like towards the Vatican. And she texted me and she said, um, "I don't know what your plans are, but I'm at the place." So I was like, "You literally ditched me and went to the Vatican without me, and now I'm supposed to chase you? It's like a 30-minute walk in the heat or more, And I just said, "You know what? I'm just going to enjoy Rome by myself." So I did. I just enjoyed Rome by myself. I went to the Colosseum. I went, ate. I got a pizza. It just felt so much lighter, and I did not want to fight anymore. And I wasn't going to chase her. So I lost my $100 tour of the Vatican, and I was kind of like, whatever, whatever. It's fine. I have peace today. So then we didn't speak at all. And the next day we were leaving. We were only there for one full day in Rome. And so the next day we were leaving. I got ready. She got ready. We weren't talking. And I went down to check out, and they're like, "Oh, do you have the keys?" And I was like, "Oh, crap." So I text her. I'm like, can you bring the keys down? She said, yeah. So she brought the keys down. The Uber was here. We got in the Uber. We kind of pointed at some sites, small talk in the thing, small talk on the plane. We sat next to each other, nothing, no big deal. And then since we've been home, crickets. And I had sent her a text. Right, Stacy? Yes, exactly. I'm sorry, but if you go to another country as a twosome, you don't leave the other person. Period. Right? You just don't. It's just not okay. First of all, you're not there to meet guys if you're going with your friend, just the two of you. Like, it's just not at our age, especially. We're not 21-year-old horny teenage, whatever. It's like we're old women. We're enjoying a trip together. So I don't know. So anyway, but since then, and I have liked some of her posts. I have made some comments on her stuff. I did tag her in the video of the fun video of her, me saying Joan manifested man, and she hasn't talked to me at all. So her birthday was just the other day, and I didn't say happy birthday. So that's where we are. I watched your previous video about your trip, knowing now that she was difficult in 2022 as well. This may need to be a long break. What would Mel Robbins do? Right. Let them. Oh, that's the thing she said to me during that argument. She's like, you just need, you keep talking about the Let Them book. You need to just let me be me. And I go, you haven't read the book, so you don't know what you're talking about. I did tell her that because I'm like, it's not really like, let you just be an asshole. That's not what it's about. So anyway, I'm just like, you can't quote it unless you read it, right? But that book, speaking of Mel Robbins' book, it has changed my life, I think. I've already listened to the audiobook more than once. I've been listening to her podcast. And I'm just like, you know what? It makes so much sense. And you do. Like that whole me of just letting her go to the Vatican without me, that's the let them. Just let them. Just let her. She ditched me to go there. I'm gonna let her. I'm just gonna do me today. And I am going to walk around by myself, go eat pizza, drink some wine, go find some pasta, and go to the Coliseum. I walked to the Pantheon. I walked around. It was very safe and busy and in the daytime. So yeah, that's what Mel Robbins would say, right? Let them. And I let her, and I'm letting her just ignore me and whatever. I'm not gonna beg for any and you're right, because this did happen in 2022 as well. And my other friend Patty, who's been my friend since we were 15 and 16, said Patty went with us to Greece in 2022, and Patty told me, and I've known Patty only knows her through me. Patty told me a long time ago she'll never travel with Joan again. She's like, Kathy, I can tolerate her. I can go out with you guys, blah, 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 but I'm never going to travel with you two again with her. And it was her, because Patty and I went to Greece last year together, and it was so much fun. We went to my cousin's wedding, and there was nothing like that. No tension, no my way or the highway. If we wanted to do something, we discussed it. You want to do this? I don't care. Okay, let's do that. It wasn't like, because Joan's attitude is more like, I'm going here. You want to come or not? I'm not going to wait for you to get ready. I want to leave, that kind of stuff. So yeah. And also unsafe to go off with a guy you don't know. I know, exactly. I mean, my brain went to true crime. Like, this guy may, we don't know anything about this guy. I know Europe is safer than the US as far as like stuff like that goes, but you never know. People disappear all over the world. But the fact that she told me I was jealous just makes me laugh, because I'm not even close. The guy wasn't even good looking. He wasn't my type at all. I was like, why are you following us to a restaurant? You're weird. Like, to me, it was just weird. And then saying, don't bring your friend. Like, what the hell? What's the matter with you? Anyway, Joan seems toxic. I know how that goes. I have a toxic friend. We aren't anymore. Yeah, it's just strange, right? Your friendship has only lasted this long because you're easygoing. Yeah, I try to let things roll off me. And especially, hanging out or going to dinner or going to, to sushi or things like that. It's easy to tolerate. We were neighbors. We used to work together. When you're friends with somebody like that in bits and pieces, you're not spending weeks or days together or nights together. You get together, you hang out, other friends, people there, whatever. And it's just very different. But once you go on a trip with somebody, you're going to find out if your friendship is truly a friendship or if it's just a nightmare. And I'm kind of feeling like it was a nightmare. And I'm sure she's saying all kinds of bad things about me. I absolutely know that she is, to our mutual friends. And I'm not bringing it up to our mutual friends. I'm not talking to them at all. If they watch my channel, oh well. But I'm not bringing it up. I'm not talking about it. I haven't brought it up to anybody except for you guys. I haven't brought it up at all to anybody in my life, any of my siblings, my kids. But, I feel like this is a safer place because we're all sort of know each other for so long. If you've been on Left Undone, and that you guys are really good support and you know how to, read into things a little bit better. And tell me if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to listen for sure. Even Mel Robbins has sometimes when it comes to safety issues. Yes. I think she let the age-old issue of throwing out your brain when a man comes into the picture. Something like that, right? Like, why? And what are you going to do? How are you going to date somebody in Italy? Don't bring your friend. Red flag in another country, especially. Right. That's what I said. I'm like, that doesn't seem very safe. Yeah. I mean, I would say she has a lot of narcissistic tendencies for sure. All right. So, but when I went to Greece, that was my first time solo traveling, and I actually really enjoyed it. I felt very safe. I went to the island of Skiathos. I wasn't out at night. I did some like group trips. I did a boat day where you sign up through Viator and stuff like that. Stayed in the little town, shopped, ate. When you go there, you have to eat. Like eat. Eating is like it really is the main thing I did. And I walked a lot. I got all my watch was always closed. So, what is the best Greek food? Well, it depends on who you talk to, but I can tell you what some of my favorites are. Obviously, a gyro, the pita bread with the meat inside and the onions and the tzatziki sauce. Absolutely. And in Greece, they put French fries in the gyro. So that's always a good one. My favorite thing that I eat for breakfast when I'm in Greece is called tiropita. It's a phyllo dough with cheese. So it's like a cheese pie. It has like feta or different cheeses in it. Very, very good. Favorite. That's my favorite breakfast thing, and coffee. Of course, lamb is big in Greece, but more so here for Greek food than there. A lot of chickens, like what's the Greek name for it? It's like a chicken kebab, right? With like vegetables and chicken on it. Why am I trying to blank? That's always good. It's very healthy. The Mediterranean, lots of fish. Octopus. I like grilled octopus. A lot of people don't like grilled octopus, but I like grilled octopus with honey on it. Or not honey, I'm sorry, lemon on it. Spanakopita is like the tiropita, but it has spinach pie. It's a spinach pie. It has spinach and cheese in it. Saganaki. If you've ever eaten in a octopus. If you ever have eaten in a Greek restaurant in the US, there's a flaming cheese on the menu, and they'll bring it out and light it on fire. That's called saganaki, and it's like a fried cheese. Now, in Greece, I said, in the US, they set that on fire, and they're like, no, dangerous. We do not put the cheese on fire. So in the US, in a Greek restaurant, it's like dramatic. They bring it up. There goes the flaming cheese. But it is one of my favorite things. I get it almost everywhere I go. I get saganaki almost everywhere I go. And you got to eat it when it's warm. First comes out. And it's very good with lemon on it. But they have different kinds. Like there's one that more have like honey on it or lemon on it. There's different kinds, but it's saganaki cheese saganaki. Yes, they do have the tentacles, have the suction cut things on them. They do. Yeah, they do. but grilled octopus is really good. Although my daughter was saying, she's like, "Mom, you can't eat octopus." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Because they're so smart. They are like the smartest creatures." And I was like, "Yeah, I heard that." Um, I read a book. What was it called? It was really good. Oh gosh, what was the book? It was about an octopus, but it wasn't about an octopus, but it was about an octopus. It was it was a regular novel story with people and stuff, but what was the name of it? I'm drawing so many blanks. Let me see. Because I read it. It was really good. Let me look in my Audible. I highly recommend this book. Library. Oh. Oh, Remarkably Bright Creatures. Good book. Remarkably Bright Creatures. Such a good book. Let's see if I can.
This is Audible.
No, I'm not going to play it, but it has an octopus on the cover. I don't know if you can see it's the top one there. Remarkably Bright Creatures. Good book. Really good book. And it has, I think, on Audible, you know how they have the star rating? It has 5 stars. So I thought that was really, really good. And you love octopus and squid. Yeah, calamari. Squid is so good too. My dad used to make this. It does have to be cooked right. You don't want it to be chewy. You want it to be super tender. Exactly. My dad used to make this marinated calamari that was so good, but the recipe died with him. I don't know what he put in it or how he did it, but it was so good. And I'm bummed that I don't know. So yeah, so those are like my favorite things to eat in Greece. And then of course the Greek coffee, which comes in these little things. And if you ask for Joan asked for cream in her coffee, she got a Greek coffee and she asked for cream, and they were like, no. They literally told her, not in Greek coffee. You order something. You go order an American coffee for that cream. She was like, okay. But yeah, octopus, I guess, are super smart. And my daughter was like, I can't eat them anymore because they're so smart. I'm like, I have to compartmentalize. Like, we had chickens in our backyard when I lived up in Oregon. I could not have eaten one of those, but I can eat a random chicken in the grocery store because I didn't look it in the eye. Right. So yeah, the Greek food is really good. I was always thinking about like doing the kitchen thing and making a recipe and doing a video of that with some Greek cooking. That'd be fun. I got a really good Greek cookbook that when I was in Greece that I brought back with me. So, but yeah, Greek food. Yum. It's so good. And it's so weird when you're there, when you're walking around, there is a McDonald's in Athens. It's like this big. It's not really McDonald's. There's no Burger Kings. There's no drive-throughs. There's nothing. Everywhere you walk, every place is very walkable. Whatever town you're in, whatever village you're in, you don't get in your car and drive to the grocery store. You walk down the street and you go to the little market and you get your food for the day, and they cook their food for that day. There's small mom and pop markets, all the tavernas, all good food. You don't just go grab a, burger. I mean, you could grab a gyro. Those are more like their fast foods. They do have like some stands and stuff where you can go in and get a gyro. But for the most part, you sit, you eat. It's the way of life there. Eating dinner can take hours and hours. People don't rush their food. You don't go, let's eat, let's go. It's like an experience. You're eating when you're in Greece is an experience. It's not let's eat and let's go to do the next thing, or I got to hurry up and go, do my laundry. It's we're going to sit here and we're going to talk. And when they won't bring you your check, like here you go to a restaurant, your check is on the table for you to pay and leave, by the time your food got there practically. But in Greece, they will not bring your check unless you ask them to bring it. Like, I'm ready to go. Then they'll bring it because they feel like they are asking you to leave if you if they bring you your check before you ask for it. So yeah. So that is one thing that they won't do. But then what happens, and many of the places, you ask for your check and they're like, oh, okay, Then they bring you some more food. They bring you a dessert and they bring you a drink. They'll bring you like one of their like ouzo or something. They bring you little drinks, different places. I think one place they brought us Rocky. We were in Santorini in a restaurant. Another one they brought us something else. We were up in the on the island of Milos, up in their Plaka at a restaurant. We had so much fun at that restaurant. Everybody got up and they were Greek dancing. The owner went over and went up these little stairs and threw plates and broke the plates all over. And we were there probably for 4 or 5 hours for dinner. So yeah, it's definitely, oh yeah. Love a good Greek salad with bread. And the Greek salads there are not, oh my goodness, they are, oh yeah, here this game. Here's the remarkably great creatures, the octopus. But the Greek salads there, they do not chintz. And a regular Greek salad in Greece does not have lettuce in it. It has big chunk of feta cheese, and I always take pictures of my Greek salads, so hold on, let me find it. And cucumber, onion, tomato, sometimes capers, and olive oil and vinegar. That is a true Greek salad. It is nothing like a salad that we order here. There's Italy. Come on, I need a Greek salad. Here we go. Oh, it's still Italy. Get me to Greece. I take so many pictures. I'm going to show you my Greek salad. Almost there. Oh, still Italy. Jeez, Kathy, where's Greece? Well, I know I have Greek salad somewhere here. Oh, here's one. There you go. And the Kalamata olives. So the olives, the onions. Oh yeah, some like bell peppers sometimes, or other peppers. And olives, and yeah, so good. I'm hungry now. I haven't eaten today. I would love to watch you cooking a Greek recipe while we all chat. That would be fun, huh? I'll have to figure that out. That would be fun. Just do a live stream and then cook something. That might be a good idea. There's no Greek restaurant where I live. The only euro I've ever eaten is from Arby's. LOL. Right? Yeah, no, you got to go to a real Greek restaurant and get a real euro. Oh, that was the other thing. When I was in Skiathos, I went to a restaurant and I got a euro and I got a glass of wine and a bottle of water, and it was $8. €8. That's it. 8. Like, wow, I could live over here. If you went somewhere here, if you go to Arby's here and get a euro, you're going to spend $20, right? So yeah, at a sit-down restaurant, glass of wine, a euro, and a bottle of water, $8. €8. Euro, same thing. So yeah, it was real much cheaper to eat. And you could do a trip to Greece for very, very. So just for example, I use this app. It's called Splitwise when I go with my friends. And what we do is we go in here and let me show you totals. Okay. So what we do is we go in here, and as you pay for things together, so if you sit down for dinner, I pay this time, you pay that time, and you put it in the app, and then the app splits it. So you can put in paid for by me and split equally, or paid for by me, say there's 4 of you and only 3 went, and split with blah, 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 these 2 other people. And then it keeps the total running. So at the end, nobody really owes anybody any money, because you sort of just kept it even. Now, you can't be one of those people who's like, well, she had 2 glasses of wine and I had 1, that kind of thing doesn't work on this, because you're just going to split the tab, right? But in the end, it sort of evens out. And so This is just for Italy. So it says Italy all-time spending for 2025. The total was $4,245.26. My share was $2,122.63, which is half. So that was for a hotel. So that was for my hotel from Naples, Sorrento, and Rome, from the 8th, leaving on the 14th. That was from all the meals we had together, all the Ubers, all the things we did as far as like groups, the train, the metro, all that. So my entire week in Italy, based on the stuff that we split together, was only $2,000. Now that doesn't add my, that's not airfare, but airfare, I use miles and points, and it's not that expensive to fly from Greece to Italy anyway. So yeah, so it's kind of interesting when I have like when we went in Greece in 2022, totals were 4 of us, and the total for Greece of 2022, the whole trip, total spent was $8,568, and my total was $2,248.56. Hotel, Uber, food, drinks, everything. Food that we bought to take back to the apartments, because sometimes we did that, all that. So it's really not a super expensive trip, especially if you go with friends. It's really not a horribly expensive trip. Now, I flew first class this last time, and I will never sit in the back of a plane again on an international flight. And let me tell you, I figured out the secret to flying first class for free. If you don't have flying benefits like I used to when I was a flight attendant, but I don't have that anymore. So what I do is I save my points. And if you go on airline site, I mostly fly American, but if you go on an airline site and you look for using points to fly business class, comes up, put in random dates. So I usually keep the dates wide open, just play with the dates. And so I find one that, so most of the time, the flight you want, say I fly out of Palm Springs. So Palm Springs to Chicago to Athens, best case scenario is maybe 16 to 18 hours, total by the time you fly the flight from here to there. And that's the one you want, right? So, but you look up that flight, and for points to fly business class, it's probably one way, like 300,000 points. A lot of points. And so, I don't know, Carrie. Google it. Go ask ChatGPT. So anyway, so what I figured out, and this is the secret, and I don't know if I should be sharing this, I found that if I look, I can find a really crappy flight, like a 30-hour from start to finish to get to Athens, like 10-hour layover somewhere random, 2 stops, 3 stops between. And I found one going to Greece for 57,000 points, which I had. Because I do surveys, I put things on my credit card and then just pay it right away to earn points. I also, United has a Mileage Plus app where you can buy gift certificates, gift cards. And what I'll do with that one is I will go like to Petco and I'll get the total from the cashier, and then I buy the gift card for the exact price on my phone on the app. And then I give them the gift code, and then I get like 5 miles per every dollar, stuff like that. So I get miles from things that aren't just flying, because most of my miles that I earn are not from flying, because I use my miles to fly. So I find this flight. It's 57,000 miles. It's a really crappy flight that I booked about 6 months in advance. And I'm like, well, I got business class, right? Well, every single time I've ever gone in 2019, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, every time I've ever booked a flight on American Airlines, there's been a change. They change the flight, they change the equipment, which is the kind of plane they're flying. The time change happens. There's always a change when the time change happens, because they have to adjust. And they tell you, I get a message. They're like, we're sorry, your flight has changed. You can get a full refund, or you can change to any other flight you want. So go right in the app, and I'm like, any other flight I want. Find the one that I wanted originally that was going to be 300,000 points, and book that and got it. And then I booked my one way to Rome the same way. it was 62,000 points to come back from Rome to Palm Springs. And of course, within a week, oh, your flight has changed. Pick anyone you want. So I picked the flight I want. So yeah. So if you look, even economy costs more points than that. So that is the trick. And I will never sit in the back again. And you have to be flexible with your dates. You can't be like, I have vacation on this day. This is the only day I could leave, because you have to be flexible. You have to kind of look around and do the one way with the points. But the other good thing about the one way with the points, when you do points, if you buy a flight with money, it's usually non-refundable, right? But if you buy a flight with points and you see a better flight, you can pick the better flight, put it on hold, cancel that flight, and then use your points for the better flight, which I've done that too. And they immediately put your points back in your bank right away. There's no question. It's not like, oh, sorry, non-refundable, too bad, so sad, you don't get to change your flight. So it's really interesting that I figured this out. It just took a lot of brain power to figure it out. But I did. I figured it out. I know Greece is actually an amazing country, and I do have my dual citizenship now. So I'm supposed to get my passport. I got to go to LA to do it though. All right. So that's the travel tips and how you get there for free. And you just got to be creative like that. But oh my gosh, Stacy, as you know, the pods, the lay flat seats make all the difference in the world to go first class, because you can sleep. The movie screens are bigger. You got room to put all your crap. They give you a blanket, like a down comforter blanket. They give you pillow. They give you an amenity kit. Like here, this came out of one of my amenity kits. It's like lip gloss, like a chapstick. They give you toothbrush, the toothpaste thingy, some dental, it's nice. They give you slippers, so when you get up to go to the bathroom, you don't put your shoes on all the time, because do not walk barefoot in an airplane bathroom. That's the grossest thing ever. So yeah. I'm glad that you're liking it. I know it's not a super crowded. I hope the replay crew likes this live, but this is why I wanted to, because you know how I did my lives on Left Undone. I would go on these tangents anyway and talk about things other than true crime. And if people are there just for true crime, they are like, yeah, whatever, Kathy. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to rebrand my channel to more like the way I do like to do my lives and talk about more than just crime. Because honestly, as a hospice nurse, you guys, my life is very depressing sometimes. All day, people dying and all this going on at work and the stress. And I don't want to always focus on my videos being about murder, death. Like I have to do that enough at work, you know? And I mean, I feel very, very blessed to have my job as a hospice nurse. I know it's incredibly hard, but very, very, very rewarding. But when I come here, I want to be able to have my friends and talk like I do, and not with my narcissistic friends, my good friends, you guys, everybody in this chat pretty much has been here for a long time. And if you haven't, please join in, because we are a friendly bunch. Most of the people have followed me over from Left Undone. Obviously, not very many, because Left Undone has 16,000 subscribers. And I just hit 100, though. 100 on a new channel is actually really good. I really have a lot of hope for this channel to grow, and hope that you guys will continue to support my channel, because you know what? When I retire, this is going to be my side gig. So hopefully I can get to the point where I can get monetized, and this will be my side gig when I retire in a few years down the road. And then we will do this on a daily basis, maybe. Stick around. I got plans. In the back of my head. Now, I don't wear shoes on a plane either, but do not go in the bathroom without putting them back on. It's gross in there. Do not. Yuck. Don't do that. I would love to switch memberships to this channel. As soon as it gets monetized, I can. So I still need quite a bit more watch hours. You have the watch hours are huge. People need to watch the videos. And I do need more subscribers. So once we get there, I think I need 1,000 subscribers. And 3,000 watch hours to do the monetization part with the memberships. And then I think to get regular monetization, I need 4,000 watch hours, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, as soon as it lets me, I will have memberships, and you guys can switch your memberships over here because I am going to focus more on this channel than Left Undone. Again, it's still my channel. It's still me. It's still doing what I normally do, but I'm adding a little bit more to it, things that I want to talk about other than just gloom and doom, murder, true crime. We can do it all, right? We can do it all. How's my mom doing? Well, she's very confused. She is getting worse. I do have caregivers now, which makes me feel so much better. My stress levels, I have caregiver every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. They come in the morning and they stay until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And by that time, I'm usually almost home because I do all my documentation and coordination of care and everything in the afternoons. I try to see my visits, my patients in the morning, and then do the other stuff in the afternoon so I can be here. And at least I'm here for her safety. So it's really helpful. I was able to get her on Medicaid, which with that comes being able to have in-home support services, caregiver. So yeah, I got some great caregivers. I'm just so happy that I was able to do that. It's saving my sanity, I guess. And they for them, it's easier to get her in the shower and stuff, things she won't do for me because she tells me, I'm the mom, Kathy. I'm like, I know, but she's not their mom, right? And they come in here and she's confused enough to think that they're just people that work here at this place. Remember, I told you, did I tell you? One day she called my brother about 6 months ago and she said, Nick, I don't know what to do. This place, I don't know if I should just quit or if I should just walk out. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. She left in this voicemail. And she goes, but the lady that runs this place is just awful. Oh, the lady that runs this place. Yeah, that'd be me. I run this place, my house. So she's super confused. This morning she was like, I don't feel good. I'm like, you never feel good. Get up, go outside. Like, she sits in her recliner all the time. I know she has dementia, but it's just like, get up. Makes me crazy. And my one caregiver, Helen, she's amazing. She's a retired nurse. And so she's like, come on, we're going to do laps. So she gets my mom up with her walker, makes her walk around and around and around the kitchen and around the house and stuff, which she would never do for me. So I definitely needed the help. And it's helping me. And that's one of the reasons why I was able to kind of bring back and get another channel going, because I have help now and my sanity is and they're great. Like, she cleaned my mom's bathroom, she does her laundry, she makes her lunch and breakfast, she makes her coffee because my mom doesn't like the way I make coffee, but they make coffee and it's fabulous. Oh my gosh, this is the best coffee ever, she'll tell them. So, whether your mom has dementia or not, there's still a mother-daughter thing there. So it's definitely difficult. And my siblings are no help, as you know. So my brother actually is coming today for a little bit to visit. And hopefully he'll see how much she's declining, because it's, yeah. But I think I honestly still think my mom's going to be around for a while. She just turned 88. August 25th was her birthday. And she turned 88. And she's lost a ton of weight, but she still insists on wearing her XXL pants, and she puts pins in them and pins them. I'm like, you look like a freaking bag lady. And so Helen went and got a pair of her pants altered for her. And I'm like, you're nicer than me. Maybe you are. Maybe it is better to have you guys than me doing all this stuff. You like not just talking true crime? I know. And then, at some point I'd love to find some guests and stuff to have on here as we do things and get more interested in things like the self-help stuff, the women, our lives as sandwich generation, because truly many of us are in the sandwich generation, which I'm definitely in. Percy, are you in the sandwich generation too? Percy. And the cat isn't even being an asshole today. This is pretty wild. Has he been back here? I haven't noticed him. Usually he gets right in here when I'm trying to record things. So my plan is to do a weekly video and then also to do the lives as much as I can on the weekends because those are when I have my days off. Yeah, wouldn't it? It'd be great. Yep. Yeah, I like the chatting too. You have a great way of communicating, Kathy. Oh, thank you, Justine. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a chatty Kathy. Chatting with Kathy. Hey, that's a good idea. Wasn't there a doll? Chatty Cathy doll? Way back when? Way back when. I don't know if I ever had one. I think it was even before my time. So let's see. What was my other topics that I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah. So we did talk about the Let Them theory, Mel Robbins. If you haven't read it, it's actually really, really good. Her podcasts are great. She has a lot of really good guests on. She has changed her life with this. She used to be an attorney, I think, and then she and her husband were in like $800,000 worth of debt, and all this crap was going bad in her life. And she started to adopt the Let Them theory. But when you listen to her audiobook, it's her reading it basically, but it's not like she's not reading it. She's like talking it. And she gives a lot of examples in her own life about when she tried to control things and when she was mad at her friends for leaving her out of things as an adult, and like just the way she's able to explain how the Let Them theory is such a great idea. And I feel the difference, but I feel like sometimes I need to go back and listen to it again. But I have been listening to her podcasts and her clips, and she has a lot of shorts and stuff. If you follow her on YouTube, she's very good. She's got a lot, and she's going on tour. I just got an email about that. She's going to be in Arizona in May. She's going to be in San Jose, California. She's going to be in Australia. Like she's got this huge tour she's going to be doing. But she's just a motivational speaker, but she does it in such a way that's so relatable as a person, a human, just relatable to everybody. And the reason I heard about her is because Grandma Judy, my daughter's grandmother-in-law. So my son-in-law's grandma, she is a registered nurse that she's kept her license all these years, but she's also a marriage family therapist. And I was talking to her and she's like, "Oh, Kathy, you have to read this book called The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins." And I haven't heard of it. This was a few months back. And so I looked it up and I got it right away on Audible and I put my earpods in and I listened to it. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so helpful for my life." And so she was the one that told me to read it and to listen to it. I mean, I like to do Audible books because I can put it on in the car when I'm driving from patient to patient. So I usually, most everything now I do is Audible because I can listen to it while I'm doing other things. Multitask. You can multitask. And then, so Mel Robbins, Let Them theory. I mean, it helped me with that whole mess in Rome, which I feel like the old me before I ever listened to that would have defended myself about the jealous thing and defended myself about how I stood there waiting for her and being called a 5-year-old. Like it has helped me a lot. It's helped me with my siblings being able to be like, well, last year I was so they weren't talking to me. I wasn't talking to them because I was so pissed off that they're not helping me with my mom. So I've adopted the Let Them and let me. And I know that I will never regret this season or chapter of my life where I'm taking care of my mom because I know I'm doing the work. And I just decided I'm not going to be resentful to them anymore. That's their choice. They may feel guilty someday about not being here for her or not helping me, but that's on them. So it really is. It really, really, really is been helpful. And I highly recommend her. And I don't know, maybe if you've ever heard of her, definitely go at least listen to some of her YouTube channel stuff because it's worth it. Oh, thank you, Carrie. It's like chat with the friends. We're like friends. Yeah, coffee. This is my coffee cup that I've had now for over 10 years, I think. It's not my circus, not my monkeys, right? because I tend to put my nose where it doesn't belong sometimes. So I have to remind myself, not my circus, not my monkeys with the, I'm just gonna be over here watching all that going on. Right. So so yeah, Mel Robbins, watch it. And then, as far as I wanted to go back a little bit about being a hospice nurse, there's some things, I don't know if you've ever watched somebody sat with somebody dying or close to death, but people go into hospice too late. Really, when you're hospice appropriate, you're not seeking aggressive treatment and you have a terminal illness, it's time to go into hospice. And if you're actively dying, it's already missed the boat because the support is so great. We have home health aides that will come do your baths, your, bed baths when you have to. Bye, Leighton. Thanks for being here. They'll come do your bed baths. You got nurse visits. We can get new orders. We can change medications at the drop of a hat. I'm literally at a visit and they're like, the pain medication's not working. Okay, hold on. Do. Message my nurse practitioner. She gives me a new order. I put the order in. The pharmacy will deliver it. Things get changed. You don't have to go to the doctor. You don't have to wait in office. You have a change of condition or you fall, call hospice. We come over. So you did. Yeah. Was he on hospice, Carrie? Yeah. So it's super support, but you're still the one doing all the work as a family member, but it's just an extra added support. There's a social worker that can help you with funeral plans and arrangements if you don't have them, and advance directives and all that stuff. So it's definitely worth it. But I notice there's some things that you'll notice when people are getting close to dying. And the first things I usually notice are they really, see, you didn't get the full benefit of hospice. It's hard though, because sometimes they just take a big fast turn and you don't even know they're that close, or something happens. Something happens where, I've had patients where they thought they were constipated. They went to the hospital and they wind up finding out that they have massive, abdominal metastatic stage 4 tumors, and they probably have days left, So you just never know. But one thing is that if you do think they're appropriate, definitely doesn't hurt to ask for a hospice eval. And quality of life improves. I have patients that have been on hospice for 3 years, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So it definitely is, it's a benefit, and it's worth, and Medicare pays for it. So if you're elderly, Medicare pays for hospice. So they start not eating. And one thing I notice that people do, and I'll talk about different things, but this is the one I'll talk about, the eating today. I won't go into everything, but the one thing that hospice patients do is they no longer require the same amount of nutrition. And it actually can cause more discomfort if you ask them to eat or make them eat. And people are so afraid of their loved one not eating. And like, here, eat. And the patient sometimes will just eat to make you happy because you got to eat, you're starving to death. But what is naturally, our bodies don't need food when we start to die. And food starts to taste bad to them. I've had patients tell me, I want food. I think about it. And I send my wife to go get this, what I'm in the mood for. And then by the time she brings it back, I'm like, nope, can't eat it. They start taking just small bites. And the truth of the matter, it really is true that you basically starve to death and dehydrate. And that's how we die. So it's normal. And also when they stop eating and they're sleeping all the time, their own body releases endorphins that make them more comfortable. You'll notice the hospice patients aren't the ones freaking out. It's their family members. The hospice patients are usually like, just let me sleep and I don't want any food and I'm fine. They start hallucinating. They start seeing dead family members, people that have passed before them that they know, their late husband, their parents. My mother was just here, an old person would say, my mother was just here. So it's an interesting phenomenon, and it really has made me feel better about death, being able to witness it like this. So yeah, so that's, being a hospice nurse is definitely interesting. I was a labor and delivery nurse for most of my nursing career, but I do enjoy this part of it. I like being able to not be in a hospital and being out and about. But it's freaking stressful sometimes because my caseload is way too high right now from what it should be. So, okay, what is that? We're 11:23. We're almost an hour and a half in. I'm not going to do long live streams. And my brothers, they should be here in a while. But if you have any recommendations for anything you want to talk about, please put them in the comments. And then we will do this as often as I possibly can. I'm glad you guys are here. Hopefully, we'll grow. If you share my channel and help it grow, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get it back to what Left Undone was, but with more subjects, more friendship, meaning, hanging out with you guys. My dad couldn't talk in the end. I told him to go. I would take care of my mom. See, they worry about that. And that is one thing you do give them permission. Sometimes they're waiting to have permission to go. It's okay. You can go. I had a patient not too long ago he was hanging on. And he actually said to a family member, I'm going to go now. And he didn't talk anymore after that. And he wound up passing away within a day. So they have some control of this stuff. It's interesting. And they also a lot of times need your permission and because they worry about the people they're leaving behind. And it's bizarre, but it really see this in action and you're like, wow. I mean, it is part of life, right? So anyway, okay. So I think that's wrapping it up. Anything else? Any final comments? Anything? I'm glad you're here. Thank you, all my loyal Lous that came over from Left Undone, and to anybody new watching and the replay crew. I appreciate you guys. And let's talk true crime, life, and more. What do you think? Sound good? I think it sounds good. Okay. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go, and please stay safe and stay well. I'm Kathy. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. All right, try again. Take 2. Bye-bye.